What's up, BrainSTEM? Welcome to a day in the life of an electrical engineer and rocket scientist. First, let's talk about the company. In 2011, I was hired by United Launch Alliance, also known as ULA, to become an electrical ground systems engineer. Let's talk about my life as an electrical engineer at ULA. Well, let me first say, as an electrical engineer at ULA, it was a dream come true. I had imagined launching rockets when I was a teenager, but never imagined I'd make it happen. But with focus, hard work, and a plan, I was able to make my dream life come true. First, my workday started each morning at 7 a.m. So I had to wake up around 5:30. After getting ready, I'd leave the house around 6:30. It was about a 15-minute drive from my condo, that was on the beach by the way, to Cape Canaveral Air Force Station, now known as Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. The drive to work was beautiful. I would leave my beachfront condo. As I drive through Cape Canaveral, I'd see large rockets and spacecrafts being transported by semi-trucks. I mean, really big rockets on the back of a semi-truck. So you had to be really careful when passing them on the road. You might also see large launch pads and other companies that are used to help with NASA prepare spacecrafts for launch. These can be quite impressive to see up close. As you drive through the area, you might also see wildlife, such as lizards, alligators, herons, and other birds. One bird that walked around just like ducks and swans in the park were peacocks. So I got to see peacocks just about every day in my neighborhood. As I pulled into the base, I had to make sure I had my badge ready to be scanned by the security guard. The security protocol on the Air Force Base was extremely strict. If you got caught speeding, you could be arrested. Once I got on base, I had about a 3-mile drive to my building. I had to badge into my building and go through more security, then take the elevator up to my office. Also known as Mission Control. Yes, I worked in Mission Control, and it did kind of look like the one in the movies. Large projectors, TV screens, in front of about 50 plus chairs, behind 100 plus computer screens. And that's where I worked. In one office, we had all our computers. In our other office, we had all of our servers and networking equipment and all the equipment that was collecting the data from the rockets. But when I came into work, the first thing that I had to do was check for all the sensors and alarms to make sure that there were no alarms that went off overnight and that our rocket was safe. After making sure all of those sensors were good, my next job was to go down to the rocket for a visual inspection. So each day I had to go down to the rocket, which was another about 3-mile drive from my building to the rocket. Inspect the rocket, get in that elevator and go to the top of that rocket, which was about 200 to 300 feet high. After doing our visual inspection, we would then meet with our technician team. The technicians would tell us about the work that they were working on as far as maintenance to maintain the rocket and any projects that we had to work on that from issues that we found. After meeting with the technicians, they would go off and do their work for the day, and my job was to go back to the mission control because it was a launch day. It was time to launch a rocket. On launch days, my task was to monitor the sensors and the data and the information about the rocket as it blasted off and went on its way into space. So I knew about the speed, how fast the rocket was doing, the location of the rocket, and if the rocket was on the right path. And get this, if the rocket wasn't on the right path, it was my job to press the big red button to say, kapoom, to blow that rocket up so that it wouldn't come back to Earth and potentially hit something that was majorly important or hurt people. So that was so cool. After another successful launch, we would meet with the team, high five in mission control, and then we would go home. After going home, a long day of launching rockets, I would make sure I went to the beach. So I would grab a snack, my beach towel, and my beach bag, and walk right down to the beach, just a short walk from my condo. That was my first time living in Florida, and just because I became an electrical engineer at United Launch Alliance was I able to make that come true. So, would you want to do that? Would you want to become an electrical engineer or a rocket scientist? Thanks for joining me in the day in the life of an electrical engineer and rocket scientist with United Launch Alliance and NASA. Talk soon. Bye.